Why not just ask for help?
Because they're going to say no anyway.
You don't know that.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
Well, we've created for you free access to over 587 Life's Inside Track episodes where we share insider tips, how to make house home, how to build wealth, and even have generational legacy. And the great news is you get access to them from home, from the office, or on the go. And so what we're going to discover in this segment is that most people want to help. And that actually can grow a relationship.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Right? And so water is a fascinating thing. Like often as we were talking about the segment and we were exploring, like, what's the story? What's the thing we can share with you that will really let the point of how much we want to help and how, like, because I bet you're like me, you want to help. And other people don't let you help.
And I had to learn this because, like I would go into someone's home and they say, would you like a glass of water? Would you like a coffee? Or would you like a tea? Or would you like a Coke or whatever?
Would you like a glass of water? Let's keep it simple.
Okay. And even though I might have been thirsty, my first reaction is,
no, thank you.
No, I'm good. Thanks. I'm all right. And I've changed that now. I say, yes, please. But initially it was, no, it's like I didn't want to bother them. I didn't want them to go out of their way. How much out of your way is it to go to the cupboard, get a glass, and put a little water in it?
It's not trouble. And yet how much we avoid help. Like that was the point of that story. When you said glass of water, I went, well, what's that got to do with anything? That's not helping somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how ingrained it is in many of us. Certainly it was in me, and it may be in you. It's so ingrained to say, no, I've got this. No, I could handle it myself. No, I'm good. No.
And you know what? Excuse me. I've even taken it another level because I said I would say, no, I'm good. Now I've learned if I go somewhere and I'm thirsty, I'll ask for a glass of water. I don't even wait. See, I need a glass of water now. I'm going to take a little drink.
Do. Right. And so now you've shifted gears. So it's not just about the water. It's about anything where we actually have a need. And we are reluctant to even accept the help when we have it, even when we're asked for it.
Right.
And what would happen in your life? Like, what would the outcome be if you just asked when you actually needed something? Or said yes when you were asked, like either one of those, right?
Yeah, well, I think, some of the best relationships I've built have been while helping somebody, whether it be that person or even, a few men get together and they help a widow or help somebody that needs to move or whatever the case may be. And we're shoulder to shoulder, not always talking. Maybe a little bit of breeze while we're eating lunch or whatever, but shoulder to shoulder deepens the relationship with a man. Like just the ability to build something with our hands, carry something that's heavy, doesn't matter, build a project, renovate a room, build a deck. We thrive on that kind of thing.
Right. Like I think of one of our friends who was clients and friends that was getting in trouble because they weren't getting their addition closed in time. And he finally said, can you guys help me? Or did somebody even offer it originally?
No.
He saw the struggle.
No, he asked.
He finally asked?
But also we did see that, it wasn't getting completed. And, we thought, the neighbors are going to be upset because there's tarps on it and whatever. And so let's go over and help. And so we got a few men together. And it's kind of like that, barn raising that they used to do in the old days. A couple of days, a weekend, they'd build a barn because the whole community would come together. That community had great friendships because of that.
Yeah, it really
Or maybe it was tight community and they did it because they were tight. I'm not sure which came first, the cart or the horse.
I'm not sure either. Right? And
it
yet,
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't actually. And so if you're thinking you need some help, the invitation is ask us for help if you need help. And if we can't do the thing you ask us to do, we will make sure we introduce you to the person that can. Whether it's a service or whether it's a friend or whether it's a volunteer situation, you don't ever know who can help you, because the neat thing is when you ask for help, even if the person can't give it, like the idea is not to be attached to the outcome.
Yeah. You know, one of the times I love giving help as a realtor? So when someone's moving to another country, another province, another city, and they go, oh, I just don't know who to use. And we either know the person that would be ideal, or we interview realtors to find the person that would be ideal for our client and our friend. And then we refer that person to them. I love it when they ask us for help like that.
Because now we get to be on their side as well as the person that they then hire, right? So we get to be supportive in the position.
Yeah.
When you ask.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people don't ask because they're afraid they might say no, is what you said, right? So here's the thing. Tell us the story about our friends. We went to a wedding recently, close friends, and they asked us to help clean up afterward, like the next day.
No, they actually said, please don't help us.
Oh, did they say they got this?
To help us.
Did they say that?
We got this. And I kept saying, well, what are you doing the day after? She goes, well, we're cleaning up after the wedding when the bride and groom are gone. And I said, well, do you need help? Well, we can do it. And it's like, oh, you so need help. And you so don't want to ask.
Yeah.
And I insisted. And so that night we did part of the cleanup, and there were many hands, which helped a lot, right? After the reception, we stayed, and it was out of town. So, I mean, we were staying somewhere else, not at their home this time, because they were dealing with the wedding. And so we said, we'll stay and help. We stayed and helped, but there was still lots to do the next day. And she goes, no, it's late. You sleep in. Don't. Anyway, we ended up going anyway, because you don't really say no when you feel you can't say no to me when I know you need my help, right? Like her no didn't mean anything. And there was no one else there. Like it was
a few hours since some people showed up. Yeah.
And then 2 people came.
Yeah.
So they really needed the help. And yet they still had the tendency to say no. And yet we had laughs and we had conversation. And it wasn't like hard work. I had a great conversation with one of the teenagers. And it just deepens the opportunity. There's something that happens when you're just hanging out together, doing a shared goal, a thing that helps somebody. I bet you've got stories too where it has helped you and those that you really care about. You want to make a difference for them.
Well, and when you were helping, there was a little story that went real quick, but just fast, like.
Yeah, well, we dropped the kisses. Right. How do you drop kisses? Well, there was a
chocolate Hershey's kisses.
I know.
Okay.
I was going to get there. The chocolate Hershey kisses went all over the driveway. And so we started picking them up, and there was gravel going in the bucket or in the glass jar. The glass jar didn't break, so that was really happy. And one of the young people was just kind of like picking up. And I said, no. We might as well just throw them all out. If we can save the Hershey kisses, as long as we don't put the gravel in. So we slowed it down. And then the young woman said to her buddy, the bird. And I'm thinking, what's the bird got to do with anything? There's no birds. I'm looking around. And the idea was to show delight in the thing that was delightful to another. I was delighted in doing it well. So all of a sudden he shifted gears, and he was delighted for me that it was going well, and the whole energy shifted. It's just so much fun, right?
Yeah. And we're just grateful that we have this privilege of growing alongside of you, because we're passionate about all of us being positioned for generational legacy.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker